Hey guys, and welcome to this guide for Season 6 League of Legends Champion, and in today's guide we'll be going over MAOKAI. Now, I already did a gameplay on MAOKAI which I'll include in the description below, so if you want to make reference to this guide, then I've done the gameplay already and you can chop and change to see what you can see in my gameplay and compare it to the guide and the things I'm going to tell you. Straight away we're just going to go and check out MAOKAI's skills and see what he's all about. He's a champion designated around CC, so he's pretty good for locking down opponents in the lane, especially when you're 2v2 in the bot lane, so he's a handy support to have. We're going to start with just his passive and I'll let it play out so that you can see it. Passive is Sap Magic. Each time a spell is cast near MAOKAI, he draws energy from it, gaining a charge of magical sap. When MAOKAI has 5 charges, his next basic attack heals him for a percentage of his max health. So I'll let that play out. Basically every 5 charges that he gets and you hit someone, you retrieve some of your health back. Pretty good passive, and it goes hand in hand with his Masteries once I get to that. His Q is Arcane Smash. MAOKAI knocks back nearby enemies with a shockwave, dealing magic damage and slowing them, as well as a really tanky champion. He's built around a lot of AP as well, so his ratios can scale up if you do decide to go an AP route, although you should really choose the tanky option. So this is Arcane Smash. Just pointing in the direction, it sort of knocks them back as well, slows them down so that you can get, you know, it's good for clearing minion waves as well, depending on what build route you go. W is Twisted Advance. MAOKAI dissolves into a cloud of arcane energy as he regrows near a target enemy, dealing damage and rooting it in place. This is your #1 skill for what you're going to max in the lane, for how you're going to lock down opponents and get the kills, to secure the kills for your team. So you go and look to cast your W. It's a relatively short range, although once it's cast, you root them, you go to the same place as them, and then you can link it with your other skills as well. It's all relatively slow, and apart from his Twisted Advance, you've got your Sapling Toss, which will play out just now, your Arcane Smash as well to keep them in place. But his Sapling Toss is MAOKAI flings a sapling that deals area damage on impact. The sapling then wards the nearby area. When enemies approach, the sapling attacks enemies with an Arcane Blast. So as well as doing the damage, and you throw your sapling and then it goes up to the enemy and explodes on them, does your Arcane Smash. It can be used to check brushes without face checking them, and this is a great thing to use because it means that if your ADC is alone and you don't know what's in the bush, you don't have Sightstone yet, you can throw your sapling in the bush, and then if anyone does decide to walk near the bush, they will be found out, and you won't be surprised by anyone coming into brushes and stuff like that. Although it does usually time out around, I think it's like 30 seconds or something like that, I'm not too sure. His R is Vengeful Maelstrom. MAOKAI shields his allies by drawing power from hostile spells and attacks, reducing non-tower damage done to allied champions in the area. When MAOKAI ends the effect, he unleashes the absorbed enemy to deal damage to enemies within the vortex. So it's a big amount of text there. Basically, you cast this, you throw all your abilities, it gains power over the amount of time as he's taking damage and all the abilities are going off, and then once you activate R again, then it will do a significant amount of damage. I'll just let it play that one out. You can see here he activates it, it's taking in the damage that's been absorbed from the Malphite, and then it'll do damage to Zz'Rot based on the amount of damage that's done to the Malphite. So it's a relatively good skill. You activate this before you go into a team fight. Preferably you'd activate this, then you Twisted Advance in, you throw your Sapling Toss, keep your Arcane Smash for when they do get past the Sapling Toss, and you knock them back, and then it would keep them in place, probably securing the kill 9 times out of 10. And with all that going on, you'll probably get your Sap Magic as well to get a little bit of health back. So he's a great frontliner, he's fantastic for that. The way you would probably upgrade this with it, I would upgrade this, start W in lane, because that is probably the most significant skill. If you're scared of being ganked early, then probably start a Sapling Toss just in case you're up against an Evelyn or a Shaco. You can throw it in the brush, you keep it there for a certain amount of time, keep doing it, repeat. It depends, it can be situational. You can either go W or E. Preferably I start W, then I go E, then I go Q, and obviously you'd always take your R's whenever you can. So it's going to be your Twisted Advance first, then it's going to be your Sapling Toss, Arcane Smash, then Vengeful Maelstrom. Continue maxing your Twisted Advance because you want that on low a cooldown as possible. Then it'll be your Sapling Toss, and then your Arcane Smash. So the last thing is just to remember to always upgrade that Vengeful Maelstrom, because that's your #1 skill, and that is where you're going to deal your significant damage. Be a big tank, be a big front runner, absorb all that damage coming from the enemy and do a lot of damage as an AoE altogether. So that is his skills, and he's a great form of CC. He locks down targets, he can get kills relatively easily if used correctly. You need to know your boundaries with Maokai and what you can go into and what you can't. So I'm going to go into the runes. Now there's actually two ways that you can build Maokai. There's two ways that you can really build any tanky champion. You can build them flat or you can build them scaling. It obviously depends on the team comp and depends on your enemy team comp as well and the type of laning that you're going against. In this rune page I've decided to go flat, so I've gone with health, armor and magic resist. So it's 9 greater mark of armor reds, 9 sealer health yellows, 9 blue glitz of magic resist, and you've also got your quintessences of armor in there as well. There's absolutely no damage whatsoever. To go a scaling route, obviously you probably do scaling armor, scaling magic resist, something like that. If you decide you want a little bit more damage, you probably stick in maybe a quintessence of ability power, maybe even glitz of ability power. At the same time you could probably switch out your marks for maybe hybrid pen or magic pen. It's totally up to you to add that a little bit of damage, but in my own opinion you scale incredibly well, you still do a lot of damage. You won't be required to do the damage if your team is basically following your instructions, but that doesn't always go to plan. All in all, Maokai is a very good carry support, and this rune page will set you up nicely for a good laning phase and throughout the game as well. So it's totally up to you. If you want to go with that, you can go with that, but like I said, it's your decision on what runes that you want to go for. So the Masteries is actually 2 mastery pages that you can go to as well. He's a very flexible champion. I'm going to talk about the first one, and this is the one that I personally use. So it's 0, 12 and 18, 12 in Cunning, 18 in Resolve. You'll start off with Wanderer, it gives you the movement speed out of combat, your secret stash as well, and then into meditation, it regenerate that missing mana every 5 seconds. That's important because he does use a lot of mana in this start of the game, especially with his sapling toss, and you're going to be checking those brushes all the time if you don't have any wards. Bandit is obviously a key factor because that's going to be your gold income, because you're not really going to generate that much gold as Maokai. You shouldn't need to. You should obviously go in and try and get as many kills as you can. Not personally, just feeding your team, getting assists, ranking up the assists on the board. And then the resolve tree, you start off with recovery. That's basically your health. You want to focus on your health. Tough skin, you take 2 less damage from champion and neutral basic attacks. You've also got your runic armor in there as well. Onto insight, which is 15% off your summoner spells, and then you've got swiftness to increase your tenacity and slow resistance. And I've also gone with grasp of the Undying because that also synergizes really well with your passive. So at the same time that you're generating health from your passive, you can get that from grasp of the Undying as well. So it makes you a skirmisher, makes you very tanky, and it keeps you alive for as long as possible, as long as you're getting those auto attacks off. So the second mastery page, I've sort of switched that around because some people like to go the tanky route, and that's understandable. Again, it's 0, 12 and 18, except I've changed that around a little bit. Wanderer, secret stash, into meditation, and instead of bandit I've gone with dangerous game, because if you are looking to rake up the assists, you're going to be generating your health and your missing mana basically every time that you get an assist or a kill. So if it's a very, clown fiesta, a frenzy lane, you're going to get all that stuff back anyway, so you won't really need the gold from bandit. It becomes nullified. Starting in the resolve tree, so you're starting unyielding into explorer into veteran scars, so that's focusing on your health even more than the recovery. Perseverance instead of insight, and this increases your base health regen. This is a really good factor in team fights. It's really good. It makes you even more stronger. You're going to regenerate that health better, as well as synergizing with the rest of your items that you pick up. The swiftness is still there for your tenacity and slow resistance, and instead of grasp of the Undying, I've gone with bond of stone because Maokai is extremely tanky. He's going to be able to soak up that damage, but either one is perfect. Preferably what I would like to do is stick with that. That's probably your best option. That's the best mastery page that I could find that works for me. By saying that, it's totally up to you as well. If you want to change it up and you want to maybe scale it as well, if you go with a scaling build, you could go strength of ages on Maokai. If you go on an AP build, Thunderlord's Decree. So this is the build, and the build is flexible as well, just like everything else on Maokai. The normal build that I would go is as follows. So you'd go face of the mountain. That all depends. If you require the peel for the active, you go face of the mountain. If you don't, then ID Equinox is really good to rush into, because Sightstone got nerfed. It's not as good as what it was. So if you find that you don't require the peel, jump into either Equinox. If you require the peel, face in the mountain. As simple as that. Boots of Swiftness is very good. Increase that tenacity and the slow resistance on Maokai, so that you've got more catch potential. It's a really good item to have. Other boots that you could take on him, obviously it's going to differentiate between games. They're all going to be situational. If you want to use Ninja Tabbies, Mercury Treads, etc., it's totally up to you. Locket Iron Solari has got everything that you need. It's a fantastic item as well. It gives you the shield against the magic resistance. You've got your 10% cooldown reduction, and it gives you base health regen, which is excellent. A perfect health item. I'd probably call this your core, along with the next item, which is Righteous Glory. It gives you the health, gives you mana, gives you base health regen, and it has a fantastic active on it, so it gives you move speed towards enemies or enemy turrets for 4 seconds. So it's great for chasing people down and getting your team rallied. Next item is Zz'Rot Portal. That's straightforward. You want to control those waves, get Zz'Rot. If you're against a split pusher like a Jax, or someone like that, a top laner that has no idea what they're doing and just continually split pushing the side lanes and they're not getting involved in team fights, drop that in a side wave to give some resistance. Again, it's really good for sieging as well. No one's going to push you off it because you're Maokai. Iceborn, Gauntlet and Frozen Heart are there together because Frozen Heart is more expensive, but you're probably better off with using Iceborn Gauntlet. Comparing the two items, you're probably better off getting the Iceborn Gauntlet because it doesn't give you as much armor, but it gives you increased mana. You also get a 20% cooldown reduction. So for a sake of, what is it, like 25 armor, you're getting 100 gold off it. So it's a better item. Rush also gives you that slow as well when you activate it. So in my opinion, Iceborn Gauntlet is probably a better item to get over Frozen Heart. Guardian Angel is there because you're a big tank. If you want to go in and you think you're going to get burst down with a lot of ultimates at the start of the fight, pick that item up. It's fantastic, nice and cheap. Even if you use it and then you end up coming back, you win the team fight, go back and sell it until the active is up again, and then you will see the benefits of it. It's a nice little item to pick up, very cheeky. It'll throw the enemy off if you get this on a support Maokai, that's for sure. The items down here are all alternatives because I find that they don't really fit in with Maokai as well as what they did, because in this meta the items that I've mentioned and the build that I've went is probably better. Some people will disagree, but this is just my opinion. Road to Ages, the reason that's there is because I'd rather go the Righteous Glory. I prefer the active to it, and also you're still going to get that basic stuff from the Catalyst. You get more health from the Righteous Glory as well. You want to build on that health as a tank, and the resistances are there as well. Sunfire Cape got nerfed as well, but it's not a bad item to have if you want to keep that split pushing. If you still want to do a lot of AoE damage, Sunfire Capes one to pick up. Next item is Spirit Visage. If you're playing in a solo lane, you don't really want to build this as a support. It's a very selfish item. There's a lot more items that you can build better than that. Randuin's Omen overall is very good on Maokai. It's there because I find that it still doesn't fit in with the core that I've chosen. You can probably just get away with not building that at all. But if you're getting focused down and there's a lot of AD, you're going to build AD, you're going to build tank items like Randuin's Omen. Again, Eye of the Watchers is there because if you do want to go an AP route, you're probably going to start with your Spell Thieves and stuff like that. If you want to go a damage build, Eye of the Watchers is there just as an alternative to Eye of the Equinox. So that's really just the build, and the build summarized is this is a really good build. I don't think you could go a better build than this for Maokai. If you want to switch up, like I said, there's totally different routes. I'm just pointing out what could help you at a low elo and probably could continue into high if you want to play that. Obviously you change according to the situations developing on the game, but overall this is a really good build. It's a strong build. The runes are easy, the masteries are nice and straightforward. It keeps you alive for as long as possible, and that's all I really have to say. So if you did enjoy this guide, guys, drop a like as always. It's much appreciated. So once again, guys, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.